Hello and welcome to a very special entertainment roundup. I'm J77 and I hope everyone had a great Easter, a wonderful holiday weekend, a good Friday, and everything else. It has been very much a pleasant week thus far, and I, for one, am enjoying it to the fullest. Now, I say very special episode because technically this is an unofficial episode. I was not planning to do another episode until after the Easter weekend, pretty much this coming week, and largely because one, it was my birthday this week. I just celebrated my 40th birthday. Hard to believe that I'm 40 years old when you think about it. Thank you, God, for letting me see that day. And I have a new rule. I do not do videos on a holiday. I take it my time just not talk about things, including things that I love to talk about, like movies, video games, and so on. I pretty much decided to put that in the back burner and just relax and enjoy, especially in my birthday. I don't really want to do anything, just want to turn off the radio, turn off the TV, and just relax and enjoy myself. Get a chance to really sink in this beautiful day, this beautiful holiday, which a lot of people has done, and just basically you know, just basically to enjoy myself and enjoy my family, and that's pretty much it. I really wasn't going to plan to do anything. In fact, Tuesday I was going to record the new lines of flashback reviews and just presented it starting next weekend, starting with pretty much an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, which I'm going to keep on the wraps for now. So again, I had no intention of doing anything. That's why, if you have noticed, you haven't seen anything. And this one's pretty much this late because normally I do the entertainment roundup on a Saturday to be released on either a Sunday or a Monday or Tuesday, depending on what I have lined up. However, I found out something 24 hours ago that I did not know happened, and this happened right at my birthday, and that was Charlie Murphy's passing. And I found out pretty much by accident because, again, I didn't turn on any radio. I didn't turn on anything in the entertainment world. I knew about certain people passing. I heard about this comedian who was in the Johnny Carson show, one of those old veteran comedians, unapologetic comedians, which we don't really have anymore. But I really did not knew that Charlie Murphy passed away. I did not knew that has happened. It was only after I finally got on the internet and was looking at some of my favorite internet personalities, or non-internet personalities like the Double Toast did, that I realized what has happened. And hearing the news of Charlie Murphy's passing stunned me, because again, they didn't make a complete video of it. I'm pretty sure they're gonna do it this week, but it was because they was talking about the Star Wars trailer, the new Star Wars trailer that came out, and I might talk about that. I may not. It all depends off the length of time, because I don't want to make this too long. And again, I really want to focus on Charlie Murphy, but they mentioned a bit where they was talking about the dark side of light, because the trailer was bringing that up, and it showed a Dave Chappelle skit when he was playing as Rick James, and he was saying Charlie Murphy, the darkness, and they said it very, very quick. It said, this probably is a tribute to Charlie Murphy because he just recently passed. And I said, wait, passed? He's gone. He passed away. And I went back to my news feed, which is the Huffington Post and whoever, real news on YouTube, not YouTube, Yahoo, and I just basically skimmed down and I saw the article, and then I went back on YouTube to see if any of the YouTube personalities have mentioned it. Well, NBC, their YouTube channel had brought it up, and so is CNN, and they talk about how Eddie Murphy was mourning the passing of his brother. They showed different tweets from Samuel L. Jackson and other stars, Chris Rock, just to name a few. Expressing their condolences to the Murphy family. And again, whilst I'm hearing this, I was just in total shock. I was in very, very shock. According to reports, he died, I believe he was 52 years old, from leukemia. Again, I may have to make a disclaimer on the age, but I'm pretty sure they said it was 52 years old. And I didn't even, to me, this was pretty much caught me by surprise again because um, the Murphy family, for the most part of the 10 years, have kept their private life private. And that's a good thing, you know. It's not nobody's business what someone's going through once the camera's off. It's no one's business what their medical health is. That's between the stars and close family members and even close friends. But it was a very much shock, and I was very, very sad. And me, who had family members and have other family members that I just recently found out battling through the disease, it really does hit close to home. Um, the history of Charlie Murphy is amazing because, again, I think for anyone who has followed Dave Chappelle's show like I did, you pretty much know him best for the Dave Chappelle show. The stuff they was mentioning about him, I did not know he had a big role into it. Like it's like for one thing, I didn't know he starred alongside his brother in Harlem Nights. I never once made that connection. I was like, wait, he was in Harlem Nights? I don't remember him in Harlem Nights. But his role was such one of those not considered bit roles, but so transparent that you didn't even make the connection. I didn't know he even made the screenplay for films that he had done previous, like Vampire in Brooklyn and Norbert. I didn't even know he played. Well, I knew he acted alongside his brother, but I didn't know he actually helped the screenplay with that film. So it's a lot of stuff that's coming out that I didn't was aware of that he had a very strong role in. And I again from his acting alongside for all that, I didn't know he actually had a strong stake in what was going on, especially since a lot of the films that they mentioned, his brother have actually starred into it. According to some of the media reports, that he had played a big hand in his brother getting into Hollywood, which being that he was the older brother probably was the most encouraging. I can see that being a possibility. But I think that the one thing I think no one cannot dispute was how he broke out of the entertainment world, and that was the Dave Chappelle show. He was fantastic at it. He was just as much of a big presence as Dave Chappelle himself. The best bit that they have done in terms of comedy was the fact that Rick James, if you think of Charlie Murphy, you automatically think of the Rick James skit because that went for an entire episode. And the fact that you had Rick James in on the fun was an achievement within itself. I mean, that was probably the defining moment, in my opinion, of Charlie Murphy's career. And I mean, he was already funny in the Dave Chappelle show. I really did enjoy his presence, what he brought to the table, but it really was that skit that actually catapulted him even more. And he went on to did his own comedy stand up. He did his own some other work after Dave Chappelle, so he really kept himself very, very busy. So hearing about his passing is shocking and really much heartbroken because, again, he's one of those actors. Even though he may have broken out late, he was one of those personalities that could have taken his career even further, even farther, and that's the thing that really bothers me. It also does something similar to Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac started way, way late in the game within his career. He was always doing stand up, but he never really had that breakout role. He was in Def Comedy Jam. He had pretty much a weird, outfit going on at the time, but he really did start out extremely late. And it was the Kings of Comedy, at Spike Lee's joint film, that's what I like to call it, that really put him in the spotlight. A lot of people said that the great highlight moment was that final skit when he himself was doing a comedy skit. It was very fun, it was entertaining, very controversial, there's no question about it, but it was that role that he did that leapfrogged him into not only with movies, being in films and everything else, but he actually had a very successful TV show that was actually based on the comedy skit that he was. And just on the height of his career, just on the height when he was having a successful TV show, he passed away, and it was a very huge blow. It was a very serious blow. We lost a great comedian, and a person who could have even took it even further. But unfortunately, I believe he passed away of diabetes. That was a big shock, a big blow, and of course, without that main star, the show just didn't no longer exist. It's really something similar to that where he was around, but he didn't really broke out until he got into that Dave Chappelle show, and you see him start doing other stuff. He was a great stand-up comedian. I actually thought he was fantastic as a stand-up comedian, but it was those skit roles that really sets him apart from a lot of things that he have done. So yeah. This was definitely hard. Okay, now I was very stunned, and I was very shocked at that because one thing I did look at the papers. Maybe they did. Maybe it was like only page 9 or 10. I wouldn't with all the stuff going on with Trump these days and politics and what's going on in New York. I wouldn't be too stunned if it went in the back burner. But again, it was one of those things, and partially it was my fault because again, I throughout the week I didn't even touch the radio. When my birthday came on Thursday and he died on the 13th of that day, I turned everything off. I just basically didn't want to be bothered with any media. I went to work that day, but I made it my business to actually just celebrate my birthday. Don't get angry, don't get aggravated, don't put yourself in a situation where you're gonna have to deal with some nonsense. Just relax and enjoy yourself and take in this beautiful weekend that you're gonna have, a beautiful 4-day weekend you're gonna have. And that's what I just did. I didn't even go crazy, and I didn't want to hear nothing about the news. I didn't want to hear nothing on negative. I didn't want to talk about politics. I didn't even want to record anything that will put me in a situation where I gotta go look up some stuff on the internet. I just wanted to enjoy myself. So maybe they had a big talk about it, maybe they did mention it in the news, and I was just so out of the loop that I just didn't register. But it registered me now because on Sunday, even though I wasn't going to do anything, I was going to look at my email, see if anything new interesting happened. And sure enough, this came up, and I said, I even though I wasn't going to do Entertainment Roundup, I wanted to at least talk about that. There was there was a text, not text. I keep getting those things confused. There was a tweet that he let out. It was his last tweet that many people indicated that he knew the time has come, and it was very emotional from what he was saying. And I needed to say that from what I read about it, it definitely was sound like he knows it's about he knows it's coming. It's a lot of stories that's coming out, and I had to filter out a lot of stories because you gotta ask yourself, where are you getting these sources from? Some was talking about his wife, some about his brother, his relationship, and I'm looking at them and I'm saying, okay, well, I can't really trust this source because again, nothing he's saying is being backed up from any other news source, and this is something you gotta be very careful. You're gonna see it a lot, especially with the tabloids. The tabloids will always, some reason, miraculously pop up, and this is the scandal you didn't know about, or this is something you didn't know about. Please stay away from that. They're not real. They just there to sell papers. They don't care about being truthful. And good times, 99 out of percent of the time, sorry, they're mostly being sued, and they have their office on standby, waiting for that lawsuit to happen. Don't go with that. If you're gonna look up the information about his life, make sure there's something that's there to back up what it said. Make sure there's consistency between the news, because if you take one for what it's worth, there is such thing as fake news. But that's because a lot of people are posting their own opinion, their own views, and without actually telling people is, hey, this is an opinionated column. No, they're showing it as facts, and that's why they gotta be careful. This is an opinionated podcast. I'm not sitting there and saying, hey, this is what happens, this is what it is. No, I'm explaining what is going on, and I'm giving you my own feelings about what I have read and what I feel about the situation in general. And what I feel about it is I'm very saddened to see this comedian, this great talent, leave way before his career could actually even peaked. That's pretty much it, guys. I'm on that situation again. I just wanted to bring that out. Uh, Charlie Murphy passing away, I believe, at 52 of leukemia. Um, it's just a sad, sad day, and my heart goes out with the Murphy family. Murphy family, especially Eddie Murphy. I know lately he hasn't been getting that call from the movies he had picked it, but but those who have lived in the 80s, even some of the 90s, know how talented Eddie Murphy is. The family in general is very, very, is very, very talented, and no one can take back the credibility that he had with the film that basically made us laugh and made us even think throughout most of the films. And I will be doing a chronological review of most of his films in the 80s. That will be coming up. But to me, it's basically I'm going to give out my condolences uh, and my heartfelt sympathies to the families of the Murphy family. You definitely, the entertainment world is definitely with you, and it's giving you so much love. And what my uncle always says, so much cheese. I still have time. I don't want to make this into too short of a video, but so I will talk about two trailers at least in this one. I don't normally like to talk about trailers in Entertainment Roundup, but being that this is an unofficial episode, why not? First, I want to get the Mummy out the way because a lot of people was wondering why I was avoiding giving my own opinion of the Mummy film. Listen, I will be doing a fast review on the Mummy this year, probably the second half of the season. Um, I'll tell you right now, briefly, I think the first film was surprisingly entertaining. I enjoyed it as a fun popcorn film. The second film, definitely, I actually like the second film, but I recognize they rely way too much on CGI and stupid shenanigans, rather than just giving us a good, cool, old-fashioned action film. I don't think anybody's going to disagree with me when I say the third one was the worst and the worst of the franchise. It really didn't have nothing to offer. But to me, I think the Mummy series have they pretty much ended with those three films. And four, if you want to count the Scorpion King, which is not a sequel to it, but a spinoff. Uh, I This one starring Tom Cruise. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not looking forward to seeing this movie. I really don't know what the hell I'm gonna be into it. But again, look, I think Tom Cruise is a great action star. He has really came a long way from being an action star. I know he wants to do Top Gun. He has the Mission Impossible films that he's been cranking out. But to me, seeing him in that role, seeing him in the Mummy, is something that I'm not exactly jumping over hoops to actually watch. I gotta be honest with you. I'm not feeling this movie, not at all. And that's largely because, again, I don't really consider this to be something that I already seen. I've seen this already, and they ain't showing me anything new. To me, it's mostly going to be about CGI. It's going to be mostly about eye candy, but I don't see a story. I don't see a legitimate story or a legitimate plot. Tom Cruise is an action star. You know he's going to draw in the money. And from what I understand is it ain't Imhotep this time, but something else completely different. And that's pretty much the only good thing I'll say. But again, I just see more eye candy. That's it. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe it'd be surprising, but to me, I seriously doubt it. It's my opinion. You don't have to agree with me, but I'm not really looking too forward to seeing what they have in store with this movie. Now, as for The Last Jedi, it's a teaser. I can say that. It's a good teaser too, because they ain't telling me anything else. But what I am getting from what I saw is that this movie seemed to be focusing a lot more on the mythos of Star Wars, giving us information about the culture of Star Wars, meeting the Jedi in general. There seemed to be more of the Yoda-ish style to what Empire Strikes Back is. Not to say that's going to be the exact same thing. I seriously doubt this director's going to be doing what J.J. Abrams did. And I love Force Awakens, but let's call it like it is. It was Star Wars, New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi all built into one. I still enjoyed it. I still loved it. I understand why people was a little bit frustrated with the fact that they was watching a remake of New Hope. I understand. but I still love the movie. What I'm getting here from what I saw is that there is more of a focus on the mythos of the Jedi's, on the mythos of the Force, on more on the fact that there is still a conflict going on that we don't know about. And I'm hoping to do two things. One, how they're going to establish Soak. Who is he? What role he has to play, and he seems to know more about the Jedi's than I think anyone can ever fathom. Ben Solo, what's his role is going to be? Because it seems like from what I've seen, he's not wearing that stupid helmet anymore, which I'm glad he's abandoned that. But it definitely feels like he's going to try and come on his own. But there is something that really, I think a lot of people's kind of concerned about. I don't think you should, but it is something that's going to be fascinating, and that is it's time for the Jedi's to end. Now, many people automatically assume that it's being spoke to by Luke. All right, some guys who've already did their trailer review suggest otherwise. That clip is been taken out of something else and only been added there. I can see that, but it does bring the question that I think even Double Toasted brought up is that is the Jedi existence really a good thing? And just for the record, we're not going to end on that topic because me and Joshkin and a couple other guys are going to be having that discussion. And particularly with the prequels, which Joshkin seemed to despise, and I myself have my own feelings, which I'll talk about in the near future as well. But I think this is something that will bring the question of what is balance? What is the Force? And is having these people in one side and other people on the other side actually helps the Force or actually makes it detrimental to the Force? And I think this is something that I think Luke has had. Because keep in mind, Luke did not, even though we saw in Return of the Jedi, he's going into the sunset, he has a happy ending. We're now realizing that that was not the case. There was some stuff that went down. And you got to ask yourself, how did this happen? What led Ben astray? What went wrong with Luke's training? And for the record, this is something that has even been explored in the old canon stories, where Luke have to deal with the fact that his the oldest one, who was on his training, by the way, basically turned to the dark side, who had basically killed his wife, whose eldest nephew has also succumbed to death, where the only surviving Solo was their daughter. You had the loss of Chewie. You had a situation in the Faith of the Jedi's where he made a decision at the end of that saga to leave Coruscant because of the constant battle between him and the Sith. So there's a lot of stuff that is happening, and it seems like it's always seems to be rinsing and repeating itself. So in this one, it seemed like they're addressing that Luke is just pretty much tired of this nonsense, tired of dealing with the faith of what is going on and how powerful the Force is. So I really do believe they're going to focus on that, especially of the meaning of the Jedi to an individual. I mean, the Force to the individual. Now again, one may ask, and you will be not wrong in thinking this, if he is such worried about this, why is he training Rey? He could simply just rejected Rey. And that's a good question. But then again, one must ask, what is the situation and how much of a role the Jedi's at least in this series, is going to have. So that title means something. It really does. The Force Awakens, the title meant something. And it really meant something more towards Rey than anybody else. When they said The Force Awakens, it was very clear after seeing this movie like 9 times that title really was meant for Rey than anybody else. Here, The Last Jedi, which, let's be honest, the minute you saw the opening scrolls for The Force Awakens, it says Luke Skywalker, the last of the Jedis, has disappeared. Rey may be the last Jedi. This may be Mark Hamill's last role of being Luke Skywalker. Whether he will disappear again forever or get killed off or whatever, you get the feeling that He may not be in the next episode in 2 years' time. This will be his last hurrah. And if it is, I hope he does go out as a bang. I hope he goes out more in a bang than Han Solo was, even though I think nobody was surprised by that. So that's my feeling about it. I think The Last Jedi, it brought more questions, but in a positive way. It really gives you a feeling of when something's going to happen. You really give you a feeling that there's not that big of a gap between what happened between the Force Awakens and this movie. In fact, if you see what happened with Flynn, uh, he's still unconscious and dealing with his injuries. So there's a whole lot of stuff going on here that we are not that we're just starting to get into the meat of things. We had the introduction. Now let's get into the meat of things, and that's, to me, I want to see. I'm actually praising those who actually did that trailer. I think that's the whole thing. Now I must ask for a favor from you guys, Disney, Lucasfilms. Please don't give too many trailers away. I will take one, maybe two more, but don't do what you did with Rogue One, where you kept giving trailer to trailer, revealing more of the story. I want to be held in suspense with this movie. I really, really do. I want to go in thinking, okay, I don't know what's going to happen. Let's see what happens. You don't have to give me 5 trailers to do that. Give me one. That's all I want. Just one. 2 I'll take, but 1 will just be good enough. This teaser trailer was great. You can do one more trailer to really get people pumped in, but don't give me 5 trailers. Keep us in suspense, because here's the thing, and I notice this a lot of people, even though they are hitting the like buttons and clicking the trailers, whoever has it, a lot of people, I get the vibe, are not that anticipating this Star Wars film, and a lot of reason is they already have been pumped up. They know already that they're going to get a Star Wars film every year, whether it's the Chronicles or the actual timeline of this one. So the hype for this film is not going to be as big as you would expect when you guys made the announcement that it's going to make a new Star Wars film, and we finally saw the first time. The same thing with the Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace, people were pumped up, toys was lined up everywhere, but and that was also due to not so glowing reviews from other fans. As the series went on, there was less and less interest, and this is no different. Yeah, people are pumped up, but it's not like they're going out and jumping up their seats. They liked the trailer; it was good, but it's not the same hype as it was when you guys first came out with Force Awakenings. And to me, you want to have that hype going in December. Keep in mind, we still got a long way to go before this movie come out. So what's the best way of doing it? By having that trailer, not reveal anything, but give it as an idea to say, hey, this is what you're gonna miss. This is what's gonna happen. But we're not gonna tell you. You gotta see it in theaters, and people will start saying, "Oh, this is really deep. This is really going on. What's happening here?" Don't give trailers that give away too much of the plot. The one thing that really ticked me off about Rogue One, and that's the trailer, was you gave away too much of everything. You gave away too much of the plot. I didn't even need to know that the main character's father was the person who made the Death Star. You should have saved that for the movies. Don't ruin the central core of the film. That's what I'm concerned about. That you're gonna bring these lot of trailers and you're gonna ruin the central core of the film. But if you don't, and you keep me in suspense, I guarantee you people will be like, "Oh, I gotta see what's going on." And they ain't telling you anything. I gotta see what's going on. And that's what I'm hoping they do. I'm hoping they keep the trailers at a minimum. Post one more. If you want to do fine, but don't give too much away. Don't do it, because it does ignore me when trailers do that. And I don't think a lot of people will disagree with me on that either. So that's it for I almost said American Gladiators for some reason. Oh my God. I have a list of tops I'm going to do as a blog, and I almost said American Gladiators. But that's it for the entertainment roundup. I hope you enjoyed this one. Again, this was an unofficial episode. Wish I didn't have to do this episode. And again, my thoughts, prayers, sympathies, and chi goes out to the Murphy family. And I want to say thank you, Charlie Murphy, for making me laugh in today's Chappelle show. You were definitely a man that stand out with that bunch. So until next time, as always, comment section below if you guys anything to say. And until next time, it's Jason 7 saying take care, be safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.